On a seemingly ordinary Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, as the City of London moved through its usual rhythms, something quietly extraordinary was about to unfold. The air was thick with anticipation, though most Londoners went about their day unaware of the significance brewing behind palace walls. In the heart of the city, a quietly momentous event was taking shape, one that would ripple far beyond the stately facades and cobblestone streets. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, arrived at Clarence House. This was not for a royal engagement or a public appearance, but for something far more intimate and profound, a meeting that had been long awaited. He was there to see his father, King Charles III, after a long and difficult 19 months apart, a period marked by distance, both physical and emotional. The king, now 76, had cut short his retreat at Balmoral for this meeting. It was a rare, telling gesture, one that spoke volumes about the importance of this reunion and the willingness to put family above all else, even if just for an afternoon. This wasn't about duty or protocol, but the simple human impulse of a father wanting to see his son. In that moment, titles and expectations faded, leaving only the bond between parent and child. For years their relationship had played out through headlines, interviews, and public speculation. The world had watched their struggles and misunderstandings unfold in the harsh glare of the media. Now, for the first time in a long while, they were finally face to face, away from the noise. The world watched as Harry's car slipped quietly behind the gates, a simple act that seemed to symbolize a tentative step towards healing, a moment of vulnerability and hope. Inside those historic walls, one can imagine a mix of apprehension and hope, perhaps even a little awkwardness. But above all, there was a shared history, a deep well of love, and the possibility of reconciliation. This private reunion, away from the cameras and the public eye, felt like the planting of a fragile seed of hope for the House of Windsor, a chance for new beginnings, however uncertain. It reminded us all that beneath the crowns and titles are people, family members, each seeking understanding, forgiveness, and connection in their own way. As crowds gathered and the world held its breath, there was a sense that this afternoon might mark a turning point, a glimmer of hope shining through the clouds over London. This wasn't Harry's first urgent visit. His footsteps echoed with memories of past journeys, each one marked by a sense of duty and the weight of family history. He'd rushed to his father's side in February 2024, after the king's cancer diagnosis, the world watching as the royal family faced uncertainty and fear. That meeting was brief, born of crisis, and left little room for true healing. The air was thick with unspoken words, and the pain of the past lingered between them. 19 months later, this September visit felt different, calm, deliberate, and part of a planned trip. The golden light of early autumn seemed to promise a gentler chapter. Harry arrived alone, leaving Meghan and their children in California, ensuring the focus was on family and duty. This time, he carried only his own hopes and intentions. This stripped away distractions, allowing for a more personal engagement. The silence of the royal rooms offered space for reflection and honesty. The journey to Clarence House now felt like the culmination of a long, painful wait, a moment that had been anticipated, feared, and hoped for in equal measure. This time, it wasn't about crisis, but about rebuilding for the future. The dawn over the estate hinted at the possibility of reconciliation and new beginnings. They finally had the time to look each other in the eye and begin the slow work of understanding. Old wounds were acknowledged, and the first steps toward healing were taken. It was a quiet, powerful statement that their relationship was worth fighting for, a recognition that, despite everything, family ties endure. Away from the world's glare, father and son took a step towards forgiveness, choosing hope over hurt, and opening the door to a future shaped by understanding and compassion. News of the meeting sparked a wave of hope across the country. For many, it felt like a long-awaited moment, one that might finally bring some healing to a family whose struggles had played out so publicly. For years, the public had watched the family's estrangement unfold, longing for signs of reconciliation. Every headline, every photograph, every rumour was dissected, as people tried to read between the lines for any hint of progress or peace. Harry's arrival wasn't just a royal event. It was a deeply human story of a son returning home. Cameras flashed, but beneath the spectacle was a simple truth. Family bonds, no matter how strained, are never truly broken. Of course, public hope comes with scrutiny, but the initial response was overwhelmingly positive. Social media buzzed with messages of encouragement, and outside the royal residence, well-wishers gathered, united by optimism. People know family rifts are complex. This meeting was seen as a brave first step, not a magic fix. Many recognize that true reconciliation takes time, and that forgiveness is a journey, not a single event. Harry's recent BBC interview echoed this sentiment. "There's no point continuing to fight anymore. Life is precious." His words resonated with those who have faced their own family struggles, reminding everyone of what truly matters. His actions now matched his words, showing a genuine desire to heal. The world watched as gestures, however small, spoke volumes about the possibility of moving forward. The public's goodwill, so often a source of pressure, now offered support. For once, the spotlight felt warm, not harsh, as people rallied behind the hope for peace. Today, the nation collectively hoped this quiet conversation would spark lasting change. There was a sense that something important was unfolding, something that could inspire others facing their own family challenges. In the end, we all wish for happy endings, especially for a family we've watched grow up. Their story, in many ways, mirrors our own hopes for understanding and second chances. This was a reminder that reconciliation, though difficult, is always possible. Even under the brightest spotlight, the courage to forgive and reconnect can light the way forward for us all. Harry's visit wasn't just about family. It was also about duty and remembrance, a chance to honour the past while facing the present. Before Clarence House, he made a solitary pilgrimage to Windsor, laying flowers at Queen Elizabeth II's grave on the anniversary of her passing, quietly reflecting on her legacy. This act of devotion underscored his enduring bond with his grandmother and the family's legacy, reminding everyone of the deep roots that connect them. He also attended an event at Imperial College supporting veterans, a cause close to his heart and a reflection of his ongoing commitment to those who serve. These public duties showed Harry as both a devoted grandson and a prince committed to service, balancing personal emotion with royal responsibility. His actions grounded his visit in continuity and respect, blending personal grief with public responsibility and honouring tradition in a meaningful way. It's clear his connection to the UK remains strong, forming the foundation for any reconciliation and future hope. While hope bloomed between father and son, silence lingered between Harry and Prince William. There were no plans for the brothers to meet during Harry's visit, a stark reminder of their deep rift. Once united in grief and duty, they now pursued similar causes in different cities. Their paths diverged. The reasons for their estrangement are complex and deeply personal, magnified by public scrutiny. For many, this is the most painful aspect of the family's story, a wound not easily healed. True reconciliation for the royal family will require the brothers to find their way back to each other. For now, the nation waits, hoping that today's step might one day lead to a full family reunion. The Clarence House meeting was the most visible sign of a slow, cautious thaw behind the scenes. Quiet meetings between senior aides had signalled a willingness to rebuild trust. These behind-the-scenes efforts laid the groundwork for today's breakthrough. Reconciliation is a process, not a single event. It begins with small, deliberate steps. Harry's public statements, especially his May interview, marked a shift from grievance to a longing for peace. He extended an olive branch, showing vulnerability and a desire to restore family ties. Private negotiations and public gestures combined to create hope for healing. The path ahead is long, but the signs are positive. The whispers of reconciliation have grown louder, culminating in this quiet, momentous meeting. It's proof that even the deepest rifts can begin to heal when both sides are willing to try. As the day ends, we're left with a sense of hope. The story of Harry and Charles is, at its core, the story of every family: love, misunderstanding, and the bonds that tie us together. Their meeting was an act of courage, a reminder that it's never too late to heal. For the king, it was a father's gesture. For Harry, a son's reaching out. The path ahead remains uncertain, especially with William, but a seed has been planted. With patience and care, it may grow into something resilient. Today, we saw the power of love and forgiveness in action. May this be the dawn of a new, more peaceful chapter for the royal family.